have come here to love one another. We have come here to let our love grow. We are family, we're sisters and brothers, and we carry this love wherever we go. I said we have come here to love one another. We have come here to let our love grow. We are family, we're sisters and brothers, and we carry this love wherever we go. I say we carry this love. We carry this love everywhere that we go. We carry this love. We carry this love everywhere that we go.
Good morning. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living in Santa Rosa. I'm Russ Laguerre. I'm your assistant minister. And can we give some more love to our fabulous band? God, at its most vitally active and most incarnate, is not remote from us, wholly apart from the sphere of the tangible. On the contrary, at every moment it awaits us in the activity, the work to be done, which every moment brings. God is, in a sense, at the point of my pen, my pick, my paintbrush, my needle, and my heart and my thoughts. That passage from Pierre Terra de Chardin captures the essence of our Science of Mind teaching. The presence of Spirit is everywhere. It is here now, and we find it in every act of creation. So whether you're in the room or you're watching online, please know that you are very welcome here, where we recognize the divine in everyone by honoring inclusion, equity, and diversity. Now, please join me in reading out loud our mission. The Center for Spiritual Living is a spiritual community that promotes global transformation through personal transformation. Our purpose is to awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence. We are motivated by a compelling global vision that inspires us to bring the gifts of compassion, integrity, and loving kindness to the world through our programs and teaching. Together, we're helping create a world that works for everyone. And we help to create that world through our 5 spiritual practices here at the center. And will you read those out loud with me? Spiritual study, affirmative prayer, meditation, selfless service, spiritual circulation. Now, selfless service doesn't just mean volunteering here at our center. Many of our congregants share their time and talents throughout Sonoma County. And one of them is Project Sleepwarm. They've been doing this for, I believe, 25 years now. And we have a video from them telling all about the good work that they're doing for Sonoma County.
Hi, I'm Janet Dupre.
And I'm Brenda Cobran.
At Project Sleep Warm, our team has been making delightful, comfy quilts and sleeping bags here at the center for well over 20 years. Each one is lovingly assembled using fabric that's been donated by you. So as you may imagine, we create quite an assortment of colors and patterns. Each one of our comforting creations is accompanied by a hand-knit teddy bear for snuggling purposes. We deliver our finished creations to the Living Room, another of our center's nonprofit partners, who put them into the hands of our local unsheltered community members and those needing the support. We are active participants in creating a world that works for everyone. We gather on the 3rd Saturday of every month, and together we share laughter and fellowship while we work. We're always happy to welcome newcomers to this project. Please join us. You don't need to sew a stitch. There are many steps to work on: cutting, tying, pinning, assembling, and wrapping them in love.
To make this work possible, we need to purchase the batting that makes them warm. And to cover this expense, We ask for monetary donations from you, our members. We are also gratefully accepting donations of 2 or more yard pieces of quilter's cotton fabric that you are ready to pass on, knowing that it will be well used to keep our neighbors warm and cozy. Drop them off anytime at the center's reception desk, designated for Project Sleepwarm. How would you like to win this beautifully handcrafted lap quilt donated by one of our local skilled quilt makers? You can see it and admire it up close in the social hall. Our raffle begins on November 2nd and runs through the end of the month. Tickets are on sale in the bookstore. We'll do the drawing for the winner on November 30th. Good luck. We thank you for your many years of support and look forward to many more.
Thank you to Project Sleepwarm for the incredible work that you're doing here in Santa Rosa and Sonoma County. And you can say hello to them if you're here in person. Just head on out to the social hall after service, and they have a table with that beautiful quilt that they're giving away. So you can ask them all about it then. All right, we use flowers here at our center as a way of sharing our love and our appreciation for one another. And today's dedication is from our practitioners, and it's for our beloved Reverend Sciota Bell. And they say, Reverend Sciota, your thoughtfulness and care proceed you in all the ways that you support us, the practitioners. We deeply appreciate and honor you. Thank you for all you do and the consciousness that accompanies your work. Happy birthday. We would now like to extend a warm welcome to our first-time visitors. If it's your first time here at our center, would you please stand as you're able or raise your hand? We would like to bring you a flower and a welcome packet as a token of our gratitude for joining us today. And now I'd like to invite up Nancy Reynolds to share with us about our Giving Intention season. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Russ. Good morning. I love that I get to talk with you about giving during the 5 Sundays of our Giving Intention season, because giving is the spiritual practice that has most transformed my life. When I first started coming to the center 8 or so years ago, I arrived with a deep and persistent feeling of scarcity. It didn't matter how much money I had or how much money I earned. I felt as though I never had enough, and I gave very reluctantly. Scarcity is a heavy load. And then I heard something that changed everything. Never think of yourself as someone who has nothing to give. And I also took to heart the idea that it wasn't about how much I gave, it was about giving consistently and regularly from a place of love and faith. Once I started giving financially to the center, it was like someone turned down the volume on the scarcity conversation. And what replaced it was a feeling of enough, even abundance. And something equally important, ownership. This is my center. This is our center. So when I read what others have said about the center, it could be me speaking. When someone said, "This is my spiritual home. I feel at home and unjudged. This is my village." That could have been me. When someone else said, "The center has supported me through personal challenges for more than 20 years, always there to nurture and uplift me." I could have said that. 8 years, not 20. Or when someone else shared, "It gives me a feeling of belonging and that I'm coming home." That was me. Maybe you too. This is what the giving intention form says. You can count on me in 2026. This is my spiritual home. When I fill out my form each year, it's my way of declaring my intention that scarcity, that conversation is going to stay away. It's never about the amount. It's about the love that goes with it. And for me, it's the experience of gratitude and abundance. It's about showing up consistently. And I think that's something every one of us can do. So here's my question for you. Can we count on your support in 2026? If so, please complete a giving intention form today. You can get a form right outside the social hall after service, at the tables right outside the door. And if you're online, you can get that from our website, right from the homepage, CSLSR.org. We now have 144 giving intention forms turned in, and we'd like to add yours to it. That's nearly double what we had last Sunday, by the way. So I'm wondering, maybe we could double that by next Sunday. Let's see. Now, as we give, we also receive. So as we continue with our service this morning, let's open our hearts to take in the music, the meditation, the prayer, the practices, and the message from Dr. Edward. Again, welcome, and thank you for being here this morning. This next song will lead us into a time of silent contemplation and prayer.
As I say a tender yes to everything that comes to me, my heart is open, I am free. I open to all that is. It brings me to my knees. I surrender. I am peace. I open to all that is. It brings me to my knees. I surrender. I am peace. I surrender.
recognizing the power and presence of Spirit that is everywhere, in all things, and behind all creation. Spirit is love. Spirit is peace. And Spirit is that power for good. All creation, everything in this world is powered by Spirit. It is the cord that binds each one of us together through our oneness with Spirit. And if Spirit is everywhere, then it must be right here within me. Right here where I am is Spirit's love, peace, joy, harmony, beauty, and power. And I know this is true for every person listening to this prayer. Each one of us has an equal share of all those attributes of Spirit. Each one of us has an equal amount of love within us, and peace, and wisdom, and the power for good. And so from this place of unification, I speak my word today about this celebration service. I know that somewhere in between all the words spoken, the prayers given, every musical note, and every smile, there is love. We celebrate this love together with this belief and this truth that Spirit is truly everywhere present. And so giving thanks for this time of prayer, I can release my word now into the law and let it be. And so it is. Amen. Good morning. I'm Betty Smith, practitioner emeritus. Please read the affirmation with me. I embrace the uniqueness in myself and others.
The time when I let go of my fears, inhibitions, and sense of dread. When I give up control and I let you hold me with no resistance in my soul. Now is the time when I let go of my fears, inhibitions, and sense of dread. When I give up control and I let you hold me with no resistance in my soul. This is the day when I throw it all away to the fire of the all-loving one. Now I have just what I need to be free, to feel who I really am. to the sweetness of your love. And I surrender and I remember the light and the beauty that I am. And this is the day when I throw it all away to the fire of the all-loving one. Now I have just what I need to be free, to feel who I really am. This is the day when I throw it all away to the fire of the all-loving one. Now I have just what I need to be free, to feel who I really am. Now is the time when I let go of my fears, inhibitions, and sense of dread. Now I have just what I need to be free, to feel who I really am.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Christopher Fritchie and the gentlemen of the band. Good morning. My name is Edward, and I'm happy to be here with you this morning. These past several months, I've been talking a lot about the 545-mile ride from San Francisco to Los Angeles on bikes. It's called the AIDS Life Cycle. And the reason why it's on my mind is because it's not happening again. You know, it's done. And so I'm sad about that, and I'm remembering the good old days. You know how that is. I'm also remembering that there were some tough times there too. In particular, one year, we experienced an increase in prejudice and hostility towards the cyclists, you know. Objects were thrown at cyclists. There was even an incident of a cyclist being sprayed with pepper spray, and hateful words were shouted along the route about them being gay, which is surprising because there's a huge number of cyclists, a large percentage do not identify as LGBTQ, you know. Well, that's what prejudice means, right? It means to make up your mind about someone or something before that person has a chance to be who they really are or respond to your ideas. It means to judge in advance. One evening, the ride director was talking to us in a camp, and he told us about the previous day a cyclist left early. He was one of those ambitious cyclists and set out all by himself in the crack of dawn, first out, and on a remote stretch of road, a car pulled up alongside him and cut him off, and a young woman leaned out of the window and gave him the middle finger and shouted the F word out at him. And as I listened to the story, I got to thinking, where did she learn this from? Was she taught to hate and fear from a very young age, maybe? And I started going through these stories, and then I noticed that the hearing of the aggression stayed with me. It affected me all the way to the end of the ride when I was at the airport waiting to fly home, I was on edge. And I'm standing at the airport counter, and I was sure that the agent was looking at me in a particular way. Do you know how that goes? I was certain. I was sure he was looking at me a disapproving way. And the strangest, most unreasonable thoughts crossed my mind. I wonder if they think I'm gay. I wonder if they resent serving me. I wonder if they were taught to hate people like me. Now, I wasn't in any danger at all. No one had said anything to me or mean or unkind, and still I couldn't shake off this sense that I was being looked at. And that's when I realized just how painful prejudice is when it's aimed at me, and that pain has made me mindful about aiming prejudice at others. I realized as I stood at that counter that if I could so easily imagine what that agent was thinking about without any conversation, based on nothing but my own traumatic experience of a third-party related story, I wonder if I've done the same thing to other people. How many times have I looked at someone and built a whole story about who they are and what they think and what they value and what they're like in the world without ever speaking to them? And that experience made me think about how easily discomfort can turn into judgment, and how judgment can harden, and when it does, it might become a prejudice. I mean, we might sometimes tell ourselves, oh, I'm just noticing my likes and dislikes. I'm just noticing my preferences, But it's possible that sometimes we confuse preferences with the truth itself. Because there's a world of difference between saying, I don't like this, and this is inherently unlikable. So my first idea today is this. Prejudice may very well begin where preferences harden into judgment. Now, I want to look at how does this happen? How do I move from a simple preference to a rigid judgment? Because prejudice doesn't always announce itself, with objects being thrown and harsh words. Most of the time it starts quietly in ways we barely notice it, So let's look at a more familiar scene so we can watch this process unfold in our imagination. Imagine with me being at a dinner party and someone brings their dog. Now, maybe you're a dog person. You love it. Maybe you're not a dog person and you do not like it that much. Now, let's say in this imagined story, whether you like dogs or not, right? You just notice that this particular puppy will not stop barking. And you find yourself being annoyed, not only at the puppy, but also at the owner. And at everyone else who keeps on saying, oh, she's so cute. And you're thinking, the imaginary you is thinking, but is she? Is it cute? Now, I love dogs. And I can see myself in situations just like that, whether it's a puppy or a person or an object, that it gets under my skin and there comes a moment where it's no longer only about what I like and what I don't like, and I slip into this making up stories about everyone and everything involved. I move into full-on judgment in advance, often without even talking to anybody. And here's where it hardens into prejudging. The next time someone mentions they're bringing their dog somewhere, can you see how I might have already decided how it's going to go? Because I've got evidence from this party. And now I assume that this person will also be inconsiderate and that this dog, all dogs, will be disruptive and everyone else will make the situation worse and excuse bad behavior. And so it goes in this imagined scenario. In it, I've taken one annoying experience and turned it into a lens through which I see all dogs and all dog owners at all social gatherings. And that's the moment where preferences have the potential to harden into prejudice, because I'm no longer responding to what's actually in front of me. I'm dealing with the story I've created in my mind. That's how a simple preference, like wanting a quiet dinner, can start to feel like an absolute personal truth about who's right and who's wrong. It's like a small seed of prejudice taking root. And I've noticed most people do it. Even those of us who study spiritual principles, who understand the power of our thought and self-talk. Now, maybe we learn to become faster at catching ourselves, because on some level we know that in this unity of all life that Dr. Holmes described to us, we know that there is an infinite different way for people to show up and to live and to be and express. We understand that, how's the saying, that one person's trash is another person's treasure. And understanding that preferences exist, and being okay with it, it can interrupt prejudice from setting in. And as we study this way, maybe we'll realize that, maybe there's no such thing as inherent unlikability. Only what you and I like and what we don't like. I have a friend who hates classical music. I have another friend who's made a life and career out of it. Maybe you dislike spicy food a lot and have thoughts about it. And for millions of people, it means comfort and culture and home. You might find a particular politician unbearable. And it is the case that that same person likely inspires somebody else's hope. It's the way of things. The question is, how attached are you and I to our preferences? And what do we think about people who don't share them? Spiritual teachers across traditions have noticed that attachment to preferences can steal away our peace of mind. And how we learn that happiness depends on having things a certain way steals our peace. Now I'm thinking about that imagined dinner party again with the imaginary barking dog and similar moments like that where my peace depended on somebody or something showing up in a way that I needed it to. Now, this is still about me and my discomfort, but it's leading up to this idea of how it can become dangerous. Some people have been taught that their preferences are not just personal, that they are universal truths. And that if they dislike something strongly enough, they may believe that they are justified in trying to eliminate it. That's where preference becomes prejudice, and prejudice becomes harm. So how do we heal this? How do we move from judgment back into connection? It's my second idea today. Healing prejudice happens through connection, not condemnation. Let me tell you about Derek Black, who grew up as the son of a former KKK Grand Wizard. He found the one who founded the largest white nationalist website. And by the way, Derek's godfather was David Duke. By age 10, he was already active. He was advocating for racism and anti-Semitism. At age 19, he hosted his own white nationalist radio show, where he coined the phrase white genocide. And then something changed Derek radically. It wasn't a lecture. It wasn't a confrontation. It wasn't an argument. It wasn't being berated or belittled. It wasn't being beat up. No. It was an invitation from a Jewish student named Matthew, who invited him to join the Shabbat dinner every Friday night. And he did. He went. Derek showed up and found himself surrounded by immigrants and Jews and all kinds of different people with different perspectives, different colors, shapes, and sizes. And his friends at this weekly meal, they didn't aggressively argue. They just engaged with him point by point in respectful conversation. And he says that is what allowed the transformation to take place in him. A community that he came to love. And he stopped identifying himself as a white supremacist completely. And now he works to help others leave extremist movements. His story reminds me of how the smallest gesture of curiosity can open the pathway to meaningful evolution and change. You know, even people raised in the most extreme environment can change, but the deeper question is, can I? I mean, it's scary to admit that we have prejudices, but we usually do. And if you're not sure where to look for yours, start looking at the very strong dislikes you have in your life. The ones that make your jaw tight and your face squish up. Yeah. And in spiritual learning, we ask, can I soften my approach using spiritual tools? And I believe we can, especially in that moment when we notice what's happening. That's the magical moment. We've already learned in those moments to pause and to breathe so we can take a step back in mind. And in that stepping back, to interrupt whatever attempt might arise to change situations or control people. And this pause is so important, the pause with the breath, so that we can get really close to our spiritual nature. It usually takes more than one breath. A breath. To get really close in your heart to to your spiritual nature. And then this becomes the perfect moment to ask yourself, what does my spiritual self want to do, be, say, see here? My third idea today is this. Spiritual growth means living peacefully with what we don't like. Now, to be sure, I'm not saying don't set boundaries. I'm not saying tolerate harm and injustice. No, it's something else. I'm saying that when I stop trying to eliminate everything I don't like, I create this space of possibility for connections, for pathways to open up, for something wondrous to unfold. As the documentary Accidental Courtesy shows, it's the story of Daryl Davis, a working blues musician. He played with Chuck Berry and Jerry Lee Lewis and all kinds of rhythm and blues legends. And after one of his shows in the 80s, a man came up to him and shook his hand, and he told Daryl that this was the very first time that he had ever shaken hands with a black person. They had a conversation, and the man turned out to be a current member of the Ku Klux Klan. Now, instead of walking away, Daryl activated curiosity. And he began meeting with him and with other Klan members with this straightforward, undefended questioning. How can you hate me if you don't know anything about me? So what started as conversations became friendships. And over the years, through Daryl's steady respect and genuine listening, more than 200 people left the Klan. And actually, some of them turned over their Klan robes to him as a sign of their departure. Daryl never argued. He didn't preach. Didn't try to convert anybody. He connected. He listened. And most of all, he played music. He said something powerful. When two enemies are talking, they're not fighting. His story reminds me that a transformation rarely comes from condemnation or criticism. But more likely it comes from courageous curiosity and the willingness to see something in people we once thought were unlikable. We call that the divine. Our work is not to pretend we have no preferences. It's more about noticing those preferences, especially when they start shaping who we think deserves respect and who doesn't. That's the moment to interrupt, to pause, and to breathe, and to remember that the divine doesn't sort out the world the same way that we humans do. It doesn't have favorites. It doesn't have prejudices. It doesn't have preferences. It just expresses life through infinite forms. So here's my invitation to you this week. Notice your dislikes, all of them. The big ones and the small ones. The music you can't stand. The food that you don't like. The people who irritate you. The ideas that make you angry. and ask yourself, is this inherently unlikable, or is it my preference? Just explore that and maybe get to the place where you can say, I don't like this and it still has a right to exist. That may be more authentically spiritual living than trying to pretend that you like everything. And then we can take it even a step further by asking yourself, can I learn something new about this thing I think I don't like? Oh, it's a lovely place to start. Or at least this. Am I willing to stop repeating all the reasons why I dislike it to myself and to others? And then watch. Watch how this softens judgments, how it opens the space for connection, and how what is already in you has an opportunity to start coming out through you. Today I talked about 3 things. Number 1, prejudice may very well begin where preference hardens into judgment. Number 2, healing prejudice happens through connection, not correction. Number 3, spiritual growth in part means living peacefully with what we don't like. And next week we'll talk and explore what lives beneath the surface of our reactions, what deeper awareness is waiting for us when we pause and stop letting our preferences run the show and turn more reliably to the presence within for our guidance. I invite you to breathe in with me and to exhale, letting your eyes close for a moment of prayer. There is only one spiritual reality, the living Spirit Almighty, the creative power that is in and through all things. It is eternal, immortal, and everywhere present. It is the infinite intelligence that causes everything to be. I am an expression of this living Spirit, as is each person here. The same intelligence that creates infinite diversity lives through me as infinite potential. I am made of the same creative power that expresses through all creation without withholding. And so I live peacefully today with the full spectrum of human experiences. As I do, I notice connection opens doors where judgment once closed them. Curiosity softens the edges of my reactions. I discover the sacred in unexpected places and unfamiliar faces. Everything I encounter today and all the days after offer to me an invitation to expand my understanding. I cherish relationships. I make myself available for the holy work of connecting. And as I declare this, gratitude fills my heart. This feeling of thankfulness expands through my entire being, opening me to the more that wants to flow through me. So I rest in the warmth of this appreciation, in the fullness of recognition that this is a blessed moment in my awareness. Deep thankfulness moves through me like a breath. And I release this treatment. It is complete. I let the words go, trusting they have already done their work. And I invite you in joining me by saying, and so it is, followed by a deep breath and a sigh. We use that movement of the breath to make a transition to the next part of our service, where we practice one of those 5 core practices Reverend Russ read this morning here. And that is the law of circulation, where we support our center financially. Before we receive the gift, won't you take a moment with me to appreciate yourself and all the people who participate in creating this center as a spiritual home? All the volunteers, all the people serving in youth and family and the bookstore, the ushers, and the love that is in you that sustains the program. Because circulation is, in addition to giving, it's acknowledging and appreciating. It's all of the practices that keep us in the flow of spiritual living. With that in mind, I ask the ushers to stand as you prepare your gift. And won't you please say after me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and prosper. It does amazing work in the world. And so it is. Ushers, please receive the gift.
Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument of peace. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument of peace. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument of peace. Where there is hatred, I will love. Where there is sadness, I will bring joy. Where there is darkness, I will shine. I am an instrument of peace. I am an instrument of peace. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument of peace. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument of peace. Where there is hatred, I will love. Where there is
Thank you again for all the gifts that you share with our community. And thanks again to our incredible band, Trey and Chris, and, oh, my names aren't working today, and Fran and Brett and Nick. Our annual remembrance service takes place this Wednesday, November 5th at 7 p.m. And this remembrance service is a time for us to honor and to celebrate the lives of those who have passed on and who have touched our lives. And we do this through gentle music, through prayer, and through community, being together. Part of the service is reading the names of those who have passed on that we wish to honor. And if you'd like the name of your loved one to be shared in this ceremony, you can go to our info desk and share that name there. You can also do so on our website. Now, I have a caveat for that. Our website's a little cranky right now. So if you're watching online or if you want to do it later, just check in from time to time. I promise it will be back up. Our theme for November is living the presence, and that's exactly what you'll get to do with Astra Fox this Thursday at 6 p.m. in her Joyful Frequency Song Circle. You can come and sing with Astra and all of your friends as a spiritual practice that's designed to help you to connect with divinity through each and every note. So simply bring yourself here to the social hall this Thursday if you'd like to join that. And then speaking of connecting to the divine through song, that's exactly what you get to do with Karen Drucker next Wednesday on November 12th at 7 p.m. And she's sharing a Gratitude Taizé service, which is a joyful event that's filled with music and contemplation and poetry and prayer. And no registration is needed for this. Simply come as you are to be part of this beautiful experience. And you heard from Betty in her prayer today. I suspect Betty will probably be sharing in the service. Yeah. Oh, she's not. Okay, well, I was making an assumption there. Okay, she does sometimes, so yeah. Now, our trustees, they are an integral part of the success of our community. And each year, 3 members of our board of trustees complete their 3-year term. And that means that we have an opportunity to fill those 3 positions for the next term that begins on March of 2026. And we have a video today from our board president, Adrienne Bowes, to give you some more information all about that.
Hi, my name is Adrienne Bowes, and I am the president of the Board of Trustees here at the Center for Spiritual Living. The board consists of 9 trustees, each serving a 3-year term, plus our senior minister, Dr. Edward Viljoen. Each year, 3 new members are elected to replace the 3 trustees who are completing their terms. Because board members hold our community in trust, candidates are required to have been a member of the Center for at least 1 year. In addition, we seek candidates who have an identifiable giving practice and a volunteering history. Here's what I'd like you to know about what it means to be a trustee. We are grounded and connected in our love for the Center. We dedicate our service as trustees to caring for it like we would for our own homes. We look carefully at the finances, income, and bills before we approve payments. We listen to the recommendations of staff and department leaders about things like our building upkeep and equipment for our musicians. And when new programs and projects are proposed, we weigh their cost and their alignment with the Center's values. We honor each trustee's unique skills and talents and provide mentoring for new trustees. Above all, our meetings are collaborative, vibrant, supportive, and joyful. And I can assure you, a board meeting is never boring. If you feel called to become a trustee and you meet the requirements, please speak with one of us at the information table. And you can also find out information on our website, CSLSR.org. Thank you.
Thank you, President Adrienne. And if you have any questions about what it means to be a board member, I believe Vicki Dodson, one of our board members, is here, and she'll be out in the social hall today, and you can ask her. So we're in November, and that means that it is time for Thanksgiving. And we have a music-filled Thanksgiving Eve service planned for you on Wednesday, November 26th at 7 p.m. And back by popular demand, you can join us at the center on Thanksgiving Day at 1 p.m. for a delicious Thanksgiving Day potluck. So you can sign up for the potluck on our website when it's back up. Also, you can sign up at the info desk. We have a sign-up sheet there, and our organizers want you to know you don't have to bring a turkey. I know I've already had people ask me, do I need to bring a turkey? And I said, no, you don't. Please don't bring a turkey. So whatever you wish to bring, it's perfect. Go ahead and sign up at the info desk. And that's all I have for today. So have a wonderful week.
Thank you very much, Reverend Russ, and thank you for being here. Prayer is available right here in the sanctuary after the service. Go to the host in the corner and online through our website. Oh dear. Well, if you're watching and you want prayer online, patiently try that website again. We don't know when it'll come back. And let's close in song.
I was expecting that. Okay. 1, 2, 3.